Hey everyone, it's Aaron from God a Minute, and here is another thing to look at to give us some more evidence to a 30 AD crucifixion. Now, I am guessing and speculating, but as we guess and speculate, we get closer and closer to what we want to find here. It looks like Christ was crucified in 30 AD, and here's another way to look at it. Saul's conversion, when did it happen, and why is that important? Let's get into it. I will say I'm going to try and keep this very basic and very simple. I'm going to leave a long-winded article in the description box below. You can read it and spend hours in there and to your heart's content to really dig into all these things. I'm just going to present something simple here and get on with it. So the two verses that I wanted to highlight is Galatians 2 verse 1 and Acts 12 verse 23. And we'll get back to this chart in a second. So it seems to be pretty clear that Galatians chapter 2 verse 1 and Acts chapter 12 is mirroring the same story. And so what this article has done is basically, because here we go. Then after 14 years, I went up again to Jerusalem with Barnabas. And this basically, this article is connecting this story when Herod Agrippa died the same time there. And so the article went to explain that a lot of people debate if it's 14 plus the 3 years or if it's 14 years from the conversion. And he goes extensively to explain this is 14 years from the conversion of Saul to Paul. Makes a lot of sense. 14 years from the conversion of Saul to Paul. That's what this is implying here, according to the article. It makes a lot of sense. Go read the article if you want. Acts chapter 12, verse 23 is the account when Herod died. Then immediately an angel of the Lord struck him because he did not give glory to God, and he was eaten by worms and died. Okay, and there's our Barnabas again here. And you can read all through Acts chapter 12 to get a better flavor of what's going on here. But again, this article is connecting the timing of Herod's death to the 14 years after Saul and Saul's conversion. Okay, so if we go back to this chart, let's do this. So if in fact we have 14 years after Paul's conversion, he's at the story of when Herod Agrippa died. Well, I suspect that Saul converted to Paul late 30 AD, approximately, maybe 9 months after Christ died. So if you count 14 years, if we're hypothesizing that he converted at the end of 30 AD, you count 14 years. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. If you look online, Herod Agrippa died in 44 AD, 44 AD. Herod Agrippa died, according to most sources, in 44 AD. That is 14 years after the conversion of Paul in this case. So the death of Herod, it makes it very limited. Now, if these two stories are connected, which it looks like they are, okay, it's very likely that they are connected, that Paul is making a record that 14 years after his conversion, and then he was in the story with Herod and Agrippa here, okay? So if that's the case, then here's the clincher. If that is true, then he would have had to convert late 30 or early 31 at the latest. He couldn't have converted in 32 or 33, and therefore, that means Christ couldn't have been crucified in 32 or 33. So this is an extensive study. This is a long-winded study. This is not something you're just going to read one verse and figure this out. This is a long, long study. For those that are into very, very long studies, have at it. But for the simple, quick people out there, like myself, that want a quick answer, this is a really good basic starting point. So it looks to me that Saul likely converted late 30, maybe 9 months, maybe fall, winter in 30 AD, gives us 14 years into the death of Herod Agrippa. And we got ourselves a sandwich, folks. A sandwich. Throw some meatballs and some ketchup and some French fries in there and some nachos. So, I'll leave the link. You guys study it out if you want. But for me, this is pretty compelling to give more support to a 30 AD crucifixion. Why do we care about that? Because it looks like if that's the truth about 30 AD. If that's in fact the year that he died, then that could be 2,000 years later. 2030 could be the second coming, minus 7 years, and you got yourself a rapturo. So that's the hope here. You guys know I'm speculating and guessing and hypothesizing. Eventually we'll get it. We just keep on studying. And at any rate, one day closer, guys. Go Jesus, go. Hopefully I see you in the clouds very soon. Love you.